Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. On this channel we post writing tips, unboxings, book hauls, book reviews and the occasional vlog. And today it's October, which means it's the month of Halloween, which is one of my favorite holidays. I love Halloween, it's so much fun. And today I'm going to give you guys some writing tips on world building your own holidays. First we'll go through what holidays are, how you can use them in the writing, and then I'll give you guys my 10 top tips on how to write them well. Before we get into this writing tips video, don't forget, if you like what you see, to subscribe to this channel. Your continuous support means a lot, so thank you guys so much. In your world building, we all know you can do anything you want in this world that you are creating, but have you considered holidays? Have you thought about, are you going to base the book on holidays? Are you going to create new holidays? Holidays can be used for various things. There are a lot of books that are written about the general holiday. There are a lot of books that use holidays just as a grounding tool to make you feel like the place is real. And you can use existing holidays. You can do variations on existing holidays. For example, Terry Pratchett with Hogfather. That is a holiday which looks remarkably similar to our Christmas. You can also completely make up brand new holidays that have nothing to do with the real world as it is. It's up to you. What would you like to do in your book? You can use holidays and actually make that the actual plot line of your story, or you can just use them to ground your novel, and depending on which one you choose to use them as, depends on how much detail in your world building you need to involve to make that holiday believable. So with that being said, here are my top 10 tips on writing holidays in your world. Number 1, what season is it? When you're writing a holiday, one of the main important things to take into consideration is what season is it celebrated in. Now, it doesn't have to be a season like in our world, but if there is a general temperature, or if there's a general fruit or something that's going to be grown at that time, you should maybe take that into consideration. It's things like this that mean that at winter in the northern hemisphere, we drink hot chocolates, we light fires, we eat a lot of cake because Christmas is cold. Halloween, we also start wearing coats. The best colors that you wear are autumn colors because it's autumn in October. But this can be totally swapped on its head if you're in the southern hemisphere, because in the southern hemisphere, Christmas is in the middle of summer, so you're going to be wearing shorts, you have barbecues. It's a little bit different. Number 2, how long has this been a tradition and where did it come from? The reason you need to take this into consideration when you are building your holiday, if it is a very old tradition, then how has it developed? There's also the case of, do the older generation do it in this way and the younger generation do it in this way? There are differences there. Also taking into consideration of where does it come from? Does some of the holiday not make sense in the hemisphere you're on? Or is it different from another country on your planet or in your world? Things to think about. Also, depending on how old this holiday is, depends on how many traditions it has. It depends how drilled into your brain they are. If it's a newer tradition, might be more open to new things going on. Number 3, what traditions does it have? Like a Halloween trick-or-treating, bobbing for apples. Christmas, you have a Christmas tree, you give gifts, you have lots of lights. In England, we have bonfire night where you light fireworks and you have big fires in your garden. What traditions is your holiday going to have? As I said before, with how you're using holidays in your work, the more important the holiday is to your plot, the more traditions you should have. Number 4, is it worldwide? Every country has different traditions, and some countries have traditions which overlap into others. They also have similar dates or similar seasons for a tradition, but they are done in different ways. For example, in the West we have Christmas, but in Korea we had Chuseok, which is celebrating New Year. And unlike Christmas where you get presents and lights and Chuseok was just about getting together with your family and having a lot of food and celebrating. You might get a small present, but it wasn't about the gifts. If you do have a tradition which is the same tradition but it is worldwide, as I mentioned with England versus Australia, think about what differences they could have. If your protagonist is going to go from one world to another, or one planet, one country to another, what are they going to notice that's different? Even England and America have massively different traditions. A stocking would go at the bottom of your bed in England, whereas it goes above the fireplace in America. It's little things like this that make them different. Number 5 is kind of more of a writing tool. So tip number 5 is, when are you going to start planning your holidays? By this I mean, are you going to start writing your holiday from its backstory, from its origins, and work your way forward to modern day time? Or are you going to start from the modern holiday you've made and work your way back to where the traditions come from? Again, it depends on if your book is going to be really centered around this holiday, or if this holiday is just going to be something you're using to ground your work. That makes a difference to how much of this plot line you're going to need to know about how your tradition and holiday was made. Number 6, was it merged? By this I mean, in England we have Easter, but this was actually started from the goddess Istra in the pagan religion, who was the goddess of fertility, of life, and when England became Christian, they didn't quite like that amount of sex. So they changed it to the rebirth of Jesus when he comes out of the tomb. It started as this and it merged into this. We still have that holiday, but it celebrates something a little bit different. Number 7, is your holiday religious or elemental? Like I mentioned with Easter, we have Easter, the goddess of fertility and life. That was to celebrate the coming of spring. It was to celebrate a season. And then it turned into a religious holiday. What is it that your holiday is going to be from? Is it going to be seasonal? Is it going to be elemental? Is it going to be religious? This I'm not going to go too much into, because basically planning seasons, religions and elementals is a different form of world building. But this is where the two meet and would merge into one if you are going to use holidays. Knowing what your holiday is based on will mean different traditions you could use. If it's seasonal, then you need to think of what food's available. What's the temperature like? Would you wear special clothing? If it's religious, you need to think, what's the religion about? Why are they celebrating this day? What happened in that religion and how are they going to celebrate it? Various different ways here. Number 8, conflict. Can this holiday of yours, especially if it is the main plot of your book, have a bit of a conflict surrounding it? Is your protagonist part of a smaller community who celebrate this tradition, but that tradition is actually illegal in the world that they live in? Is it that they've moved planet and it's a tradition that that planet don't know or understand, and therefore they don't quite know what to do with it? You can create a lot of conflict with a holiday, as well as a lot of celebration and happiness. Number 9, when is your holiday going to take place? Is it a date on a calendar? Is it the first full moon of so many moons? Is it when a certain flower blooms? Lots of things change. Like in Japan, the sakura season, yes, it has a rough season, but every plant will bloom at different times. So they actually have a calendar to tell you where will bloom and where you can go and see the sakura. That is based on when the flower is going to bloom, whereas Christmas is completely date-based. It is the 25th of December every year. It doesn't matter. That's the date it happens on. You could base your holiday on the movements of moons, on flowers. You could base it on the temperature. It could be based on when an ice cap melts, like a glacier, when it gets back so far. What is yours going to be based on? And finally, number 10, how long is your holiday? Is it a day? Is it just one day of celebration? Is it a full month of build-up? Is it a month of celebration because it is the month that you can pick a certain fruit? How long is your tradition going to go on for? This can change what traditions you're going to do. It can change just how important it is in your protagonist's life. What could it be? You decide. And that's it for this holiday world building. I hope you guys found this useful. Thank you so much for watching. If you like what you see, don't forget to subscribe to this channel. If you'd like to see as soon as I upload, click that little bell down below. You can also follow me on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, or Tumblr. I post bookish pictures, as well as my writing tips and unboxings on there. Don't forget, guys, if you are writing a holiday, the first and most vital question is, how important is it to your plot? Never get carried away if it's not something important to your protagonist. If it's going to be about this holiday, you need to go full on into that nitty-gritty. If it's something you're using just to ground your work and it's something that your protagonist is passing through, maybe they're passing through a foreign country and it's during their celebration of the full moon, then they're going to be witnessing these traditions. They don't necessarily need to fully understand all of them, but they need to be there. And thanks for watching, guys. Bye!